Hola! So far, we have oriented you to our company, operations, and teaching with Viva Spanish. In this module, we are going to provide training and explanation about our lower elementary curriculum. Over the course of 20 years, this program has been developed and fine-tuned to meet the needs and abilities of our students. Most recently, the program has been updated to include a new, more cyclical schedule, new flashcards, and workbooks for each grade from K through 3. Viva Spanish Language Programs provides you with a set of materials, the bag of tricks, as well as the curriculum to deliver the appropriate level of Spanish to grades K through 3. This curriculum, which we call VivaEL, will guide you through the topics, schedule, and materials that you receive from Viva Spanish. The purpose of this module is to explain the VivaEL program and show you how to use it to have an incredibly successful year with grades K through 3. To begin, let's talk about the specific components of the VivaEL curriculum. You will receive the flashcards for Unit 0 as well as the different flashcards for each grade level you teach from K through 3. You will receive a teacher guide binder which includes the outline of each year, the schedule of lessons for each year, the unit vocabulary list, and the mini flashcards for each unit. Each grade level has a workbook that applies to their specific vocabulary and skill level. As the teacher, you will also receive a copy of each workbook to reference when planning your lessons. The methodology of this program is to recycle and repeat topics from the various units throughout the year. As you know, Unit 0 should be recycled into every class in some way. In addition to that, the schedule will indicate what other past units should be reviewed in a specific lesson. The goal of preparing the schedule is that you will know when to review a specific topic without having to make the plan yourself. When the material is repeated and recycled, the students will be far more likely to retain it throughout the course of the year. Each year from K through 3 has its own set of topics, as well as a workbook that is designed to be age appropriate. These workbooks have been labeled by color to indicate what grade they go in. We have adopted the traffic light to car, top to bottom approach to remembering the order of the colors. Starting at the top, the traffic light is red, then yellow, then green, and under the light is a blue car. Therefore, the order is: red is kindergarten, yellow is first grade, green is second grade, and blue is third grade. Unless otherwise communicated to you by Viva Spanish, the students in each of these grades will always use the color associated with their grade. In some cases, a group of 2 grades might be combined. In that case, Viva Spanish will coordinate to have one color used for both grades in one year and the other color used in the second. For each of the different years, red, yellow, green, and blue, a schedule of lessons will be provided. In this schedule, the review has already been built in, so all that you have to do is make sure all topics designated for that class are covered. Every class will have Unit 0 as a topic, and the current unit's material will be highlighted in bold. The most time should be set aside to focus on the current unit material. To assist in preparing for class, we have designed a lesson planning template. This template lists out the different topics that are included in Unit 0, as well as space to write down the current unit materials, last unit's materials, and the topics from past materials that you are to cover for that day. You can list out the topics and activities that you plan to do in your class on that paper and keep them in your school binder for future reference. A few other things to keep in mind about planning for your classes. Have a routine. Start and end your class in a distinctive way each week. How do you cycle in Unit 0 each week? Is this part of your routine? What prayer do you use in each class? Don't forget that each class should also have 3 or more songs, and you should change up the activities every 3 to 5 minutes to keep the students engaged and having fun. Always stop an activity when the students are having the most fun, so that way they ask to do it again the following week. Your workbook for each of the grades is meant to have a dual function as both a text and workbook. Some of the pages have lists, prayers, or vocabulary pictures with words. Sometimes the students like to have that out when reviewing the different topics. This will also introduce them to reading and recognizing words in Spanish as they build their speaking skills, which is a very good thing. In addition to using the workbook as a text reference, you should have the students complete at least one page each week. Avoid making copies of other worksheets, as the topics and pages in the workbook closely apply to what you are teaching, and the school has spent quite a bit of money on the workbooks. It is a good idea to set aside the last 5 minutes of class to begin working on the workbook page, and have them complete the rest for out-of-class work. Never spend more than 5 minutes of class time on a workbook page. All activities should be changed every 3 to 5 minutes, with no exceptions. Do not have students rip pages out of their workbooks. We want this to go home with students at the end of the year as a completed book of their Spanish accomplishments. As previously mentioned, you will receive a full-size set of flashcards for each of the years that matches up with the curriculum topics. These should be used to help students practice their words and associate them with the various pictures. When possible, have your students also add motion to the pictures and phrases. Remember, motion is a huge help in learning a second language. You can also use the flashcards to play games, for example with your fly swatters. There are a lot of things you can do with flashcards. Get creative. In your teacher guide binder, a set of mini flashcards will also be provided. This shows you what vocabulary, word, or phrase each picture is to be associated with. This is one instance where it would be appropriate to make copies for your students. You can copy the page and have the students cut and color their vocabulary words to take home with them. Since they will probably not take home their workbook each week, this is a great way to send home some reinforcement for parents and students to practice together. I want to make sure that you have a clear idea of what a class might look like for the younger grades. I'm going to walk you through a lesson that I have planned for a first grade group on week 23 of the curriculum. Looking at my schedule, I know that I will incorporate Unit 1 into my lesson. The bold print tells me that people in a school is the newest topic the students are learning. In the last unit, we were learning parts of the school, so I will review that this class. The additional review is the clothing vocabulary from Unit 4. I'm going to take my lesson planning tool and first fill in the information on the top, and then write in the various topics in the boxes on the left-hand side. In this case, I have first grade, week 23. I am in Unit 6, Class 1. Then I will indicate the date of the lesson. On the left-hand side of the worksheet, I will place people in a school under current unit material. I will place parts of the school in last unit material, and clothing vocabulary list 1 in past units material. In the open box on the right side of the worksheet, I will jot down my plans for the lesson. I will open with the song Hola Amigos, and then do the Gracias Padre prayer. I then review Unit 0 with my students. I will introduce the people in a school using flashcards and having the students repeat. Then I will have the students open their workbook to the page with the parts of the school vocabulary. I will ask them questions such as, where do you eat lunch? And they will respond with the Spanish word for the location in the school. Next, we will review the clothing. I will ask the question, who is wearing? And use a vocabulary word from the list. Any student wearing that item should stand until I give them the command to sit. I will then play the Marches song for my students, as they ask to play it each week. Time permitting, we will either begin our worksheet on people in the school, or I will assign it to be completed for the following week. When we end our class, we sing Vamos a bailar, adios, and then the students know that class is over. Hopefully this explanation of the VivaEL program has given you a strong idea of how to plan and execute the program in grades K through 3. If you have any questions or would like your lesson plans reviewed, you can always come to me for further coaching. This concludes the VivaEL curriculum module. Again, any questions should be directed to me at hriley@vivaspanish.com. Gracias. Adios.